Let's hit some grades halfway through the season for the American League. We'll cover National League a different day. And we're going off of CBSSports.com, putting an article together because we like to at least see a list from another publication and then comment on some parts that we like, some that we maybe don't like. AJ, from the grades that you're looking at right now, I think I can see one that stands out to you. They've got the White Sox receiving a B, and I'll give you a little bit of context before you probably let it rip. They said, yep, they're terrible, but they basically were saying how you could make a case that they were expected to be even worse than their record-breaking season last year. They did ditch Garrett Crochet, and they pointed to some players that could be a part of the core of next, a better White Sox team. So they said better than expected on the field, plus young players establishing themselves is a B for them.
I would have gone C at the most. Yes, there are some nice young players. They've made some good trades, but when you're trading assets like Garrett Crochet, you better get good players back, right? They're also on pace for 52 wins this year. 52. I mean, that's better than 41 like they won last year, but they're still on pace to lose 110 games. So, yeah, where there's some bright spots you can look at and say, okay, well, they this and that. But again, like I said, going into the year, they were never going to be as bad as they were last year because they set the all-time record last year. I think a C is where they're at because they haven't had the development. Luis Robert hasn't had the development. Now Miguel Vargas has gotten better, but some other guys haven't had the development. Andrew Vaughn's gone now, who's supposed to be a big part of this team. So yes, where I see the upgrades, I also think it's too early to judge. And I mean, a C, it would have been average because they weren't going to be as bad as they were last year. I'm sorry, they just weren't. It couldn't have gone as wrong as it went.
Wait, I'll throw some other grades out there and then let me know one that you either really like or don't like. They've got the Angels with a B, the A's with a D, the Orioles with an F, the Red Sox with a C, the Guardians get a C, the Royals get a C, the Angels get a B, the Mariners get a C, Rays get an A, Jays get a B, Rangers get a C, Astros get an A.
I'll touch on the Orioles. I think. Well, before I do that, I do want to touch on the White Sox and give a shout out to Shane Smith, and I think that's a big reason why they might have gotten a B because you find someone like that who could be your front end starter kind of out of nowhere. I think that's a good find. He was my brother's college roommate, so I'm a little biased, but he's a stud. So nice job, Shane. Keep shoving. But the Orioles, yeah, I mean, what a disappointment. But at the same time, I think that's just that's why baseball is such a volatile sport. It just varies year by year. You just don't know what's going to happen year by year, and that's why I have such a big problem with a lot of teams going all in for the future. And I get you got to play for the future a little bit and have some guys coming up, but you don't know what's going to happen year by year. I mean, the Orioles were a front runner this year, and guys aren't playing well, and that's what happens in baseball. So that's why I'm always such a big component on if you have a chance to win, go and win this year, because you never know what's going to happen next year. The Orioles, looking back on last year, probably wish they would have made a couple more moves to put themselves in a better chance to move forward and move forward in the playoffs. So yeah, I think an F is a proper grade for them.
Yeah, I'll give
A's
you
are an
one
F.
that.
A's are an F for me too because
Yeah,
they were supposed to be better. Their second half last year was great. To me, they're an F. But you know what? Why they're an F? I don't want to put this on the players. The players aren't playing great. The situation is an F. Sacramento has been an F. What they've had to deal with has been an F. The players are starting to pop off about it. So to me, it's not really. I mean, it's a whole organizational grade, and that's why they would be an F for me. As well as the players could handle this, it's an impossible situation they're in.
The Astros get an A, and I'm with them on that one from CBS handing that out. Yordan Alvarez hasn't played since May 2nd. He's still out with that hand injury. I guess you could ding them a grade, maybe give them an A minus because they haven't handled that injury well, and medical staff is part of your team or whoever's making those calls. But Altuve had a slow start. Now he's picked it up. Really got Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez, who were awesome, but a ton of injuries and question marks in the back end of the rotation, and yet they lose Bregman, they lose Kyle Tucker. They look like they're going to win the division. I know there's a long way to go, but it's a pretty impressive record for what they've dealt with in the first half of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And the big piece they got in Christian Walker hasn't even gotten hot yet. And so I think they're in a good spot. And I think when some of these pieces start coming back, you get Yordan back, you get some guys playing better, then you get Walker going. it's going to be a tough team for anybody in the West to compete with.
Yeah, what about the Jays? They gave them B. I thought that was pretty fair. I mean, Jimenez and Santander have done almost nothing offensively, especially Santander compared to what he did a year ago. Yet they're balling. We talked to Dalton Varsho recently here, and starting to see the pop come back for Bo. Are you buying what the Blue Jays are selling here?
They're a fun team. They're a lot of fun to watch, and I think a B is probably a proper grade, and it's only because of those two guys that you mentioned not playing the way they can play. You got Bo's playing good, Vladdy's playing good, George is back to playing like George. Dalton's been great when Dalton's been able to be in the lineup. Kirky's playing awesome. A guy like Heineman who's killing it as the backup catcher. Ernie Clement's having just a dynamite year. Like, you just go, all those guys they're doing their part. Addison Bargers came out of nowhere and had some really big hits for him. So yeah, I think if you got Jimenez and Santander to do it, that have done, if they would have done anything to this point, really, it'd be an easy A for me.
FT fam, did you know that Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it is your turn to try it. While I drink it.
Drink up, Scott, so I can discuss Huel and how I love it. I had some for breakfast this morning. I like to drink it post-workout because of the protein included in it. It always tastes delicious, whether it's strawberry, banana, chocolate, vanilla, whatever the flavor is. It tastes like a dessert, honestly. It should not taste as good as it does.
I agree. New customers get 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use the FT code. That is FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com/FOUL. Don't miss out. Try Huel today for a perfectly balanced meal. If you miss a meal, if you're looking for a little protein boost, you just saw me drinking the Black Edition ready to drink. There's the vanilla flavor. I love what the chocolate brings to the table. It's really damn good. So give it a shot, FT fam. 15% off plus a free gift for new customers with the code FOUL. AJ, one more for you. The C's that we're giving out. Any that you think should be higher or lower? Guardians C, Mariners C, Rangers C.
No, because they all have problems. The Rangers can't hit. They've been pitching better. Their bullpen we kind of thought was going to be a mess. The Mariners, listen, if it wasn't for Cal Raleigh, they could be a D because he's carried them. It's just a lot of these are easy because, expectations are put on teams. And by the way, the Astros should be an A because what they've done with Jeremy Pena, they've turned him into one of the best players in the game, the growth he's shown, along with some other guys. I mean, listen, Joe Espada has done a great job with those Astros. So, C's are easy to give out, but right now we're halfway there. Let's reevaluate here in about the end of July when the trade deadline hits. Then we'll really see. Because what grade did the Twins get?
I don't know. Hold on. I don't think I wrote that one down. But probably not great. I mean, like I mentioned, aside from that 13-game win streak, C. They got a C.
C. Okay, my question is, and I'll be quick on this, but Carlos Correa keeps coming out and saying, we're not prepared. What does that mean? What does that mean? As a player, we're not prepared. Our preparation's not great. Everyone prepares for games different ways. Every player prepares a different way. I guarantee you I prepared different than the way Witt prepared, the way Todd Frazier prepared, the way Eric Kratz prepared, the way Ross Stripling prepares. So how can you look at everybody and say, they all need to prepare like Carlos Correa? Well, he prepares, I guarantee you, differently than I prepared, but I went out and performed as best I could every night, and he's doing the same thing. So I don't know. I think to me they could have been a little bit lower.
Yeah, I wonder if he's clashing with some guys behind the scenes that, he's trying to push and they're like, I'm not seeing the prep the same way you are. I wonder if there's a bigger story to that. Carlos is intense. But anyway, topic for another day. If you think we missed on any of these or CBS did, let us know in the comments if you're checking this out after the fact.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.